The gentleman for yielding and for his initiative here to actually create some jobs. The premise of the legislation before us today is that if we allow more pollution, particularly ozone pollution, which is very detrimental to the health of asthmatics, bad for the health of everyday Americans, but particularly to the 25 million asthmatics, seniors, and others. And the premise is that by polluting the air more with ozone, we will create jobs. Now, actually, I've got to agree with the Republicans on this. They will create more jobs by polluting the air. Pulmonary specialists will be very, very busy. The inhaler manufacturers. There's been some great press about the inhaler manufacturers in the last year, where they're quadrupling and sextupling the price to price gouge people. Well, they're going to have a heyday. I'm sure in fact, I believe they've endorsed this legislation. And then we're going to have a whole new group of people working on the streets in America. It's going to be a whole new entrepreneurial class. There are actually people in Beijing doing this now. The air is so polluted in Beijing that on many days they say, don't go outside. But some people, you got to go outside sometimes. You got to go to the grocery store. You got to go to work. So they now have a very large industry of street vendors who sell oxygen. So as you're about to collapse in the street in Beijing, someone will sell you a good whiff of oxygen for whatever they charge for it. So that we're going to bring that industry to America. So this bill does have phenomenal potential to create a whole new bunch of jobs with oxygen street vendors, and then of course the pulmonary specialists and the inhaler manufacturers and others. Now the president actually, as a candidate, said he would triple 3 times the amount of money that would be spent on clean water, state revolving funds. He would triple it. Now, interestingly enough, the Congressional Budget Office came out with analysis yesterday of the president's proposed budgets over the next 10 years, which theoretically is going to increase investment in infrastructure. And they said, actually, not so much. Actually, in fact, his cuts basically would lead to a reduction in investment in clean water and a reduction in investment in ground transportation. So instead of tripling the investment and putting many people to work, the president actually is going to cut investment in clean water in his proposed budget. Now, I know he didn't write the budget. He's got this right-wing guy running the CBO, Mulvaney, founder of the Freedom Caucus. But Trump is somewhat responsible for a budget that has his name on it, even if he didn't write it, and even he didn't know what was in it, and even he doesn't know that it contradicts promises he made as a candidate, which he's not going to deliver as president. But that said, I want to help the president out here. So this bill simply delivers on the president's promise to triple the amount of investment to $25 billion. Now, do we need it? Heck yeah, we need it. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers 2017 infrastructure report card, America's wastewater treatment systems got a grade of D+, not too good. There's a backlog of more than $40 billion in clean water infrastructure. The federal government needs to become an honest partner with our cities and counties and others who have needs to invest in their wastewater systems. We did it before when we cleaned up our rivers back in the 60s and 70s and 80s with the Clean Water Act. We need to do it again. We need the federal partnership. We need this investment. And the other good thing is, if we were to spend that money, according to the National Utility Contractors Association, every $1 billion, just $1 billion, could...
The gentleman has yielded. The gentleman is recognized for an additional minute.
Invested in our nation's water infrastructure creates or sustains 27,000 jobs. So do the math. President can do math. He's a businessman. That would be 540,000 jobs if we delivered on the president's promise to make significant new investments with federal partnership in clean water in America. So we can put together health, cleaning up the environment, and jobs, as opposed to the Republican bill, which deteriorates health, deteriorates the environment and protection, and won't create any jobs. Just one quick quote here. The Clean Water State Revolving Fund is a perfect example of the type of program that should be reauthorized because it creates jobs while benefiting the environment and is an efficient return on taxpayer investment. That's from the Oregon Water Resources Congress. With that, I yield back the balance of my time as we proceed to this absurdity of saying by deteriorating health, we will create jobs.
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Texas.